Hey guys, I just wanted to make a life update real quick before I started working on doing reviews again for books and horror movies and adaptations and stuff like that. Earlier this year, April 4th, our apartment had a fire. Thankfully, the fire was mostly contained to our kitchen, the bathroom, and the porch, which is supposedly where the fire started from the beginning. It was completely accidental. No one really exactly knows what happened, but it wasn't electrical. Uh, for all we know, maybe some bum or drunk was playing a little too much with cigarettes in the ashtray outside of our door. But um, I woke up at 3:20 in the morning on that Saturday, April 4th, to the sounds of the fire crackling. I tried to turn on the light and couldn't because the power was out. There must have been a power surge of some sort. I couldn't find my cats. They usually sleep right at Andy's feet and my feet, or with specifically Nick's against my ribs. But I knew something was wrong immediately because they weren't there. I couldn't find them anywhere. Um, I listened to the sounds of the fire for a second, got out of bed, looked out my living room window, and saw that our entire porch was just a wall of fire. I woke Andy up and we called the police, called the fire department, I should say. And while we did that, we had to climb out of our living room window onto the ledge of the roof because we were on the second floor. And thankfully, a couple of cops had already been patrolling the vicinity and they had already called it in. So there were fire trucks on their way. And they weren't able to get to the upstairs where me and my neighbor were, but they were banging on the doors downstairs. Andy and I were able to get down from the roof with the help of one of the cops, and we kept telling them over and over, our cats, our babies are in there, our kitties are in there. Please help them. We told the police that, we told the fire department that as soon as they came. Um, 20 minutes to a half hour later, they pulled our girls out, just breathing and panting, hardly alive. Unfortunately, we had only left that apartment with the clothing on our backs and my phone. We had no wallets, we had no car keys. Andy's phone was still up there. So I had to frantically call a few friends, and thankfully, a friend of mine was able to come as soon as she woke up and take us and Phaedra and Nix to the emergency vet. Unfortunately, of course, they didn't make it. There was too much smoke inhalation. They were already basically catatonic when they were pulled out of the fire. So, Nix died in the lobby of the vet, and Phaedra was, uh, she was, put to sleep right after. They were only 3 years old, but we loved them as much as we could for the almost 3 years that we had them. They were our babies, they were our children, and we loved them. And I wish that we were able to save them, but we couldn't. But, anyway, so after that, the friend that picked us up and took us to the vet, she let us stay with her for a while, for exactly 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, Andy and I were getting to and from work just fine because the morning that the morning of the fire, the police were able to pull out my backpack that had my wallet and my keys in it, and they were able to find Andy's phone and his wallet. So thankfully, we were able to get our car the next morning, and we stayed with our friend who was awesome. Her and her roommates were really awesome and accommodating for us. Thank you guys. So we stayed with them for exactly 2 weeks while we went to work, and we started house hunting and apartment hunting. And as a matter of fact, exactly 2 weeks of us living with our friend, we were able to move into a new 2-bedroom apartment. And so from there on, we basically had to wait because our landlords basically told us, we'll call you guys when it's safe for you guys to come get your stuff. Because of all the damage that happened to the apartment, the building was condemned. No one was allowed in. We were given entry affidavits in order to get in, but we had to wait for the owners to let us know, hey, it's safe to go. Well, unfortunately, that never happened. It took almost exactly 3 months, and then suddenly I get a call from a random number. Come to find out, the new landlord was contacting us. The old landlords had sold off the property. So the new landlord contacted us and said, hey, let's get this set up. Let's get your stuff out of there. So thankfully, almost exactly 3 months after the fire, on January 3rd, or sorry, not January, July 3rd, we were able to finally get our stuff out. Thankfully, despite all the smoke damage, the apartment complex was actually aired out because most of the roof was just kept together by tarp. So there was a bit of water damage here and there. There was a lot of fire damage, but we were able to get most of our furniture out. Some of it we're going to have to redo, but thankfully my fiance and I know how to do a bit of woodworking, so that's not a big deal. So at this point, we're just trying to figure out our lives again, try to recuperate and not get too hard on ourselves about losing our girls. But anyway, I am going to start doing book reviews again. And this time around, I was thinking about doing Stephen King, but the Stephen King book that I was reading, Gerald's Game, is a little bit too heavy for me right now. So I'm gonna actually do Mercedes Thompson, a urban fantasy series, and I hope you guys like it. And I'll see you then. Bye.